"Daddy, please help her." The words echoed in the air like a cry for help that refused to be ignored. John's heart pounded as he saw a little girl trapped between two men who were clearly up to no good. Without thinking, he ran, adrenaline coursing through his veins, ready to do whatever it took to protect her. In that moment, he wasn't just a man, he was a father, a protector, a hero. It all happened so fast. 1 second, the street was calm, the next, chaos erupted. But what nobody knew was that John's act of courage that night would change not only the life of that little girl but his own life forever. Before we dive into the full story, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and leave a comment down below. Join our community at Kindness Tales, where we celebrate the small and big acts of kindness that make the world a better place. John had been a single dad for nearly 3 years. Raising his daughter, Lily, alone after his wife passed away, had been the hardest thing he'd ever done. Nights were long, bills were tight, and every decision felt monumental. But through it all, he had one guiding principle: kindness matters, no matter how small the gesture. He lived it every day, teaching Lily to be compassionate, to stand up for what's right, and to never turn a blind eye when someone needed help. It was a Thursday evening when John decided to take Lily to the small park a few blocks from their apartment. The sun had just dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of pink and orange. Lily loved this time of day, when shadows stretched across the playground and the laughter of children mixed with the chirping of crickets. They were swinging on the swings, pushing each other higher and higher, when she suddenly froze. "Daddy, look," she whispered, pointing to the far side of the park. John squinted and saw 2 men surrounding a young woman. She was crying, clearly scared, and her backpack was clutched tightly in her hands. The men were demanding something, her purse, maybe her phone, John couldn't tell from this distance. But one thing was clear, she was in trouble. "Daddy, please help her," Lily said, tugging at his sleeve. John didn't hesitate. He knew the weight of kindness often came with courage. He sprinted across the park, heart hammering, fear mixing with determination. The men noticed him and laughed, thinking a lone man with a little girl couldn't possibly intervene. But John's voice was steady, firm, and fearless. "Leave her alone," he shouted. The men sneered and took a step toward him. Adrenaline surged, and instinct took over. John managed to disarm the first man with a swift move he never thought he'd need to use, and within seconds, the second man was on the ground, stunned by John's determination. The young woman ran toward them, tears streaming down her face, whispering 1,000 thank yous she couldn't voice fully. Lily ran to her father's side, hugging him tightly. "You saved her, Daddy," she said, her voice trembling. "I just did what anyone should do," John replied, his chest heaving. But inside, he felt a surge of pride. In that moment, he realized that kindness wasn't just about helping someone, it was about standing up when the world needed it most. The story didn't end there. The next morning, John was back at work at the local auto repair shop, covered in grease and tired from a long night. He didn't think much about the incident, he had done what felt right, and that was enough for him. But life has a way of rewarding those who act with a pure heart. Just as John was finishing up a job, a sleek black car pulled up outside the shop. Out stepped a man in a tailored suit, his presence commanding attention. John wiped his hands on a rag, unsure why someone so obviously wealthy was at his modest garage. "Are you John?" the man asked. "Yes, sir," John replied cautiously. "I'm Michael Stevens," he said, extending his hand. "I wanted to thank you personally for what you did yesterday." John's brow furrowed. I don't understand, sir." Michael smiled. "The young woman you helped, she's my daughter. And the way you acted, the way you protected her, well, it's the kind of courage and kindness that's rare in this world. I want to offer you a position at my company. Not just for your skills, but because I need people who have integrity, people who act with kindness even when no one is watching." John's mind raced. He had never imagined that helping someone out of pure instinct could lead to an opportunity like this. It was overwhelming, almost surreal. But more than the job offer, it was the validation that his actions mattered, that kindness was a force that could ripple far beyond what we ever see. As they walked into the sleek office, John felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. He thought about Lily, about the lessons he'd been teaching her. "See, Daddy," Lily had said that night. "Being kind is powerful." And now, it truly was. Michael continued, "I want you to join our team, but more importantly, I want you to keep being a role model for people, showing that courage and kindness can coexist. We need that in the world." John accepted the offer, not just for the opportunity itself, but for the chance to show Lily that doing the right thing always comes full circle. That kindness, bravery, and compassion were never wasted, even when it feels like the world doesn't notice. In the weeks that followed, John adapted to his new role, but he never let the experience change who he was. He still spent every evening with Lily, still taught her the value of helping others, and still believed that small acts of kindness could spark incredible change. The young woman he saved also stayed in touch, often visiting the park with her parents to thank John and Lily for the courage and warmth they had shown her. Their friendship became a beautiful reminder that when we act with empathy, we can create bonds that last a lifetime. John's story spread locally, inspiring neighbors and coworkers alike. People shared it online, touched by the raw humanity of a single dad protecting a child in need. But John never sought recognition. He simply knew that kindness, when genuine, has a way of finding its own reward. And that is the power of kindness. It's not just about the heroic moments or the headlines. It's in the small gestures, the moments when you choose to help someone even when it's inconvenient. It's in the courage to stand up for what's right, the compassion to protect those who can't protect themselves. And sometimes, just sometimes, the universe notices, and rewards, that purity of heart in ways you could never imagine. John looked down at Lily one evening as they walked home, holding hands and sharing stories of their day. "Daddy," she said softly, "I want to help people like you do." "You will, sweetheart," John replied, squeezing her hand. "And every act of kindness you do will make the world a little brighter." It's easy to feel powerless in a world that often seems cold and indifferent. But stories like John's remind us that every choice, every gesture of compassion, matters. You don't need to be rich, famous, or extraordinary to change someone's life. You just need a heart willing to act, courage to step forward, and a belief that kindness is worth it, even when no one is watching. So the next time you see someone struggling, remember John, remember Lily, and remember that your actions have power. Sometimes, they can change lives in ways you'll never even realize. And maybe, just maybe, your small act of kindness will come back to you in ways that feel like a miracle. Because in the end, the world isn't made better by grand gestures alone. It's made better by people choosing, every day, to act with kindness, courage, and love. John's story is proof of that. A single father, a little girl, and a simple choice to help someone in need, yet the ripple effect of that choice transformed lives, sparked hope, and reminded everyone that kindness always wins. And in that, there is hope for us all.